Hi everyone, I'm Jen. Wanted to share with you a couple incidences. They were unexplainables, and now with the ME phenomenon or awareness of the ME, that timelines, we have multiple versions of ourselves and there are multiple timelines. So we're all experiencing it of us being the same age. But now, looking back at two of these unexplainables, I believe we can simultaneously also live every age at every now. Because the first one, when I was in elementary school, and when things got, actually there are three, when there are things that, I don't know, when things got scary, I remember feeling this padding around me, and I could feel it. I would lay in bed and my hands would touch this invisible field around me, and it was a lot of padding, and I could push it down with my hands, even though I was just touching air. I could push it down, and it would softly spring back a little bit. It was nice. It felt comfortable. Well, years later, years later, as an adult, as a young adult, I started gaining weight and realized that it actually felt good to gain weight as a protective measure. It was just a perception that it would be protective, but still. So I was comfortable with my weight, and I actually became more myself once I had weight on. And I think once I found myself, then I no longer had to put on weight. So I'm no longer that larger size, but when I was that larger size, I was laying in bed, and one day it hit me. This is what the elementary school Jenny thought, and felt. And so I was in touch with, as an elementary school age, in touch with my later body. The second one is I grew up, it was kind of challenging, and my marriage was kind of challenging. And when after I moved and moved out away from both of them, and I was in my kitchen, my children were at school, and I had just moved into the Cape Cod, and I finally was leading a really, I was thriving in life, not just surviving. And it was cool. I walked from the back door through the kitchen towards the dining room, and then I went, whoa, what was that? And I walked backwards to retrace my steps, because there was a stool with a young woman. She was about 21, 22, and I did not own a stool, and I was the only one in the home. And when I looked at her, she was my 21, 22-year-old self. And gosh, she was so young and so pretty and innocent, and I found myself telling her, see, I told you we'd get us to be safe. And the third one, I don't know if this one is it. Again, in elementary, junior high school, I had an experience where I was not asleep, but I was kind of daydreaming, and I totally felt like I was a Native American running through the woods, and then an arrow got my leg. And before I died, I was trying to remove it, and the arrow would not move backwards. Now, I was young when I experienced this, so that was my first understanding about arrows, that they cannot go backwards, and it felt very real to me. So now, since anything seems to be possible, I'm wondering if that was even a previous Jenny, Jennifer life. Thanks for listening. I know this is out there, but with the ears, I thought you all would be open to listening. Thanks for listening.